Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, 4D. Good evening, Viv.
Good evening, 4D. Good evening, Bronze.
It is Thursday, the 7th of May, 2026. Storm the Teacup, episode 62.
No, 63.
Is it 63?
Yep. You've got one job at the beginning, honestly.
Although
not recording is kind of worse, but...
well, yeah. Okay. I will fire myself. I'll dock myself wages. Okay, sorry, yeah, episode 63. Oh, that's a shame. Okay, 63. All right.
So that means you've definitely not got any things on number 63 because you were aiming for 62.
Well, to be honest with you, it's kind of a bit of a there's not really much going on that front. It was an idea, but it's very every week I'm looking for stuff. Anything interesting for that number, and it's really not very much at all. I'll keep looking in case something does come up, but generally I'll probably stop saying anything about it until I do have something interesting.
Until numbers actually work out. Yeah.
Yeah, I did. There was one. 1 second. I just got to check this out. So 63. Oh yeah, you are right. Yeah. No, 63. All I've got on 63 at the moment is 1963. Obviously, a very significant year. John F. Kennedy was murdered.
I was just thinking to myself, significant. Oh, damn. Right. Yeah.
One of the most significant events. Singular events of the 20th century. I dare say. One of them. Yeah. But yeah, so over to you, 4D. On this day in history, got anything interesting?
On this day in history, there is. There's always a couple of interesting ones actually, and I kind of go through them from top to bottom. I've got the siege of Orleans was broken on this day in history on 1429. English siege of Orleans was broken by Joan of Arc and the French army. Again, 1429.
Huh.
Yeah, it's incredible that back in those days, someone like Joan of Arc. I mean, I was thinking about this when I brought up Boadicea the other week as well. Female leaders in history, so far back in history. We're talking. I mean, Boadicea was about 1,000 years ago, and it was like a female leader, a leader of men, a leader of warriors, and Joan of Arc as well. It's kind of these must have been some special women to have held such a a high place amongst a very very male dominated world.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. I agree.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, sticking with women, actually, in this day in history in 1913, the British House of Commons rejects women's right to vote. So there's a you were saying about the strong women, and in 1913 on today, we rejected women's right to vote.
Yeah, it just kind of puts more relief onto these women leaders that even in the 20th century they were still not allowing women to vote.
And as controversial and chauvinistic as it might sound, I think that was the start of a lot of our problems. And I suppose I'd have to go into it in depth to prove that I'm not chauvinistic in why I'm saying that. But I think it was possibly not a great thing that women fought for there.
What do you mean?
I shouldn't have brought it up. Really,
for women to vote. You say that wasn't a good thing for them to fight for that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
really
very controversial. Very controversial. So you're saying women should not be allowed to vote?
I'll tell you what. Let me get a few, because that's what it's worth. Let me get through these, and we'll get right back to that and put me in the corner. Yeah. Okay then. Where was I then? 1954. US, Great Britain, and France reject Russia's membership into NATO. Another amazing day in history of 1954.
Yeah.
Wow, that is interesting. Russia tried. So the whole point of NATO was to guard against Russia. So the fact that they were even being considered as to enter into it would have kind of been totally pointless anyway. Surely.
And we would have had so less troubles, if and that's probably why they didn't let it happen.
So 54, that would have been the Soviet Union. Am I correct?
Yeah.
54.
Yeah.
Yes,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. That is a really crazy fact. That is. Wow.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. And actually year later, 1955, USSR signed peace treaty with France and Great Britain. So in 1954, you had them asking to join NATO. They were rejected. And in the next year, you had them signing a peace treaty with France and Great Britain. Explain that to me,
Yeah. I mean, that's really at the height of the Cold War, mid-50s. That was real. Red menace, wasn't it? That was when paranoia was kind of pretty high.
Oh, yeah.
And my last one, considering today is also a historic, probably will turn out to be a historic day for us, which is the voting day. And this day in history, this really makes you gag. So I do apologise for this one. But in 2015, the Conservative Party wins an outright majority in the British general election, returning David Cameron as Prime Minister. Oh, I feel a bit sick myself now. But anyway, yeah.
Conservatives in take that, put that in inverted commas. That one, conservatives will take that. They weren't really conservatives, especially not David Cameron. He was a liberal, but yeah. Sorry, just before we move on quickly, I do have a couple of semi interesting facts about number 63. Number 63. 63 is the international dialing code for the Philippines. And it just so happens that there's an island in the Philippines called Samar, which is 4,961 square miles, and it happens to be the 63rd largest island in the world.
Oh, check you out. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm trying really hard to put you to sleep here.
No, that was good work on the fly. I like that.
Yeah, very good.
There are, europium is the chemical element in the periodic table that has the symbol EU and atomic number 63. And
sorry?
Europium. Have you ever heard of that? I haven't.
No, never heard of it.
No.
There you go. Yeah. So 4D, you bloody misogynist. You hate women and you don't think they should vote. Is that right?
Do you know what? I love women, and I think, and that's kind of where it comes from. And also, I was away. I didn't exist in the normal real world. I was a squaddy. We didn't really get involved in normal stuff, so I didn't know. As I say, I buggered off at 16 and came back in my late 30s, and it was like, oh my god. But and it was. I mean, I went straight to the streets, and there's all the boohoo sad story, but I did a lot of thinking while I was a drunk on the streets. You have a lot of time to think, believe it or not. And making myself the whole concept of women burning their bras and wanting to get the vote, and then we want to be equal to men, and we want to have the same respect as men. So we want to go to work, and when you break it down in its without trying to be sexist, chauvinistic, or anything, but the idea that women fought to be put into the same slavery as their partners, they would have all seen how hard it was to work down the mines, and it wasn't. It certainly was harder then than it is today for a man to go to work. And we also split the family in as much as back then it was kind of incumbent on the man to make sure his family had food and a roof over their head. So there was quite a lot of responsibility, and I think that's how for the average guy that's how you toe the line. There's a big responsibility. You've got to bring a family and look after this family, and then for the woman, there was an equally hard job of and again, I know in a modern world that may sound chauvinistic, but looking after her man from 16 hours down a mine shaft, coughing with soot down his lungs. And again, I know that we don't work like that anymore, and work is a lot easier. But that's why I'm trying to sort of say I'm not a chauvinistic, or I'm not anti-women. In fact, I love women, and I think women can do great things, but very differently to men. I've always said, in fact, you were at the beginning, you were saying how amazing it was of Joan of Arc in that early time period. And again, I would totally agree, because to break into a man's world, and to get to the top of it, and lead an army and go to war with another country is an amazing feat of feminine power. But I would put it back to I'm a strong believer that there's a feminine power and there's a masculine power, and there's no point in saying women are as good as men or men are as good as women, because it's like apples and oranges. Men do particular things particularly well, and I believe women do particular things particularly well, and never the twain shall meet. But so that's where I'm going with I don't think they should have even fought for voting. And again, I'll end it on this one. Most women that I speak to will admit that they don't really know much about politics. And now I'll expand on that. It's not because they're too dim to understand politics. It's because they don't give a crap. Women don't want to listen to, like me, I listen to bloody PMQs every week that it's on. And even in circles of guys, I get looked down at. But who the fuck wants to sit and listen to them idiots in Parliament? And so, yeah, women just aren't interested in it. So was it ever really a need for women to vote? And actually, as I say, I'm cringing, because and I don't mean that far. Of course they should vote. But do you see where I'm going with that then?
Yeah, I've definitely got some things to say about that. Viv, you want to go first before I launch into that?
Yes, I think women were fooled with the voting lark, because they voted and then they all went out to work. And it used to be that it took one person in the household, usually the man, to go to work, put food on the table, bring people up, get clothes, and get a mortgage. Now it requires two, and even that with difficulty.
Yeah, and I think that's another added sort of unfortunate con to the whole idea of joining the workforce, because, as you say, they're just then half the money that was coming in from the man, and the woman had to go out just to make up that difference.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying, Fordy, about, and Viv. I mean, you kind of just sort of backed it up. It was the whole thing about basically feminism. Okay, equal rights for women has completely taken us away from our natural gender roles in society and made us weaker. It's destroyed the family. It's weakened the family unit. It's put a lot of. It's taken people away from the roles which nature kind of put us into. We didn't really think about, right, the man's going to do this role and a woman's going to do that role. They're just the roles that we naturally did, without instinctively, but I will say it's a bit of a stretch, because you started off with saying, I don't think that women should have fought for the right to vote, which is kind of which is a bit misleading for me, because it's like, well, there's nothing wrong with women voting, but then it kind of, what you really meant was like the much bigger issue about how it's degraded society. It's made women generally a lot more unhappy. Women who go for a career thinking, yeah, that's great, I can have a career now, which is what used to only be the domain of men, but now women can do it. That's great, I can go out and I can make money, and then they find themselves approaching middle age without a child. And quite often they feel like they've made the wrong decision, because they really did want to have a family in the first place, but they put a career before it. And of course, it did mobilise probably somewhere around 50% of the population. Well, probably not that much, but there was a large amount who were not who were just being housewives, and not earning any money by being a housewife. And probably part of the goal was to get all of them activated to go out and work. So, you know, to more taxpayers for the system, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of it's a difficult one. It really is, because you can't take that away from women. You can't say, sorry, women, you can't. You're not allowed to vote. You're not allowed to have a career. You can't do that. That's really, you know, a kind of a not what I would consider a particularly enlightened view of things. But we're starting to see the effects of that, and it's not been overall a good thing. So it's a difficult one to really kind of pin down. And I will say, I'm not sure. Yeah, and I'm not really sure about your comments about women not really being that interested in politics. I would say that
again, as a whole, you know, but
yeah. Well, here's an interesting fact, right? I mean, I'm probably going to be a little bit controversial here as well. One of the reasons we are in such a sorry state politically may be because of women in politics. And here's why I'm saying that, because in this country, especially right now, we have the rise of the so-called Green Party, right? Who are not green at all. They're just an extreme far left and Islamist party. That's what they are. They are a communist Islamist party as it stands at the moment. And the two largest voters, groups of voters who are voting for them are Islamics, okay, and young women. That is the two demographics who appear to be the largest voter groups for the Green Party at the moment.
Interesting.
So I would say, you know, I think women are quite politically minded, and, you know, do show interest in it. Absolutely.
Yeah, but it's the overdose of empathy. That's the problem. There's an overdose of empathy there, and it's suicidal empathy, basically. I mean, a number of the new Green females who are standing for election are they're a bit bonkers. You know, dare I say that? Yeah, they're mental. They're mental.
Yeah, no, of course they are.
Yeah.
If they're voting for them, then of course they are, and they're young as well. It's not so much that there may be some you know, stretching across the age groups there. You might get some older women, but I think the core female vote for the Green Party right now are young women, maybe white women, quite possibly middle class. And almost certainly results, you know, manifestation of the modern day education system that we have.
Yeah,
they have been extremely well indoctrinated and brainwashed, I would say.
Oh yeah,
well, yeah, and almost giving credence to what I was saying, that women don't really understand politics. If they're going for that way, that's not politics, girl.
Well, yeah. I mean,
it's probably the only reason they exist. Is because of people that don't really understand politics. Let's be honest. If any of you two, I regard you as interesting and intelligent guys. If either of you two had sort of started a conversation about how interested in the Green Party were and that you were thinking of voting for them, I think you were absolutely fucking mental. And I think anyone that votes for them is mental. So I still stick to my idea that anyone that I don't think women are that interested in politics.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
well, they're interested in what they think is politics. Some women, you know, but the Green Party are not really. It's not really a political party. It's an emotional party.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, you know, the policies are really bonkers. Really bonkers. They're voting for all sorts of mad things that would actually put women in danger.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
they're voting for legalizing date rape drugs.
Yeah, exactly. I know that's crazy. That is. or all drugs, and that would be included in that.
Mhm.
So
That's right.
yes, and abolishing prisons. It's
Yeah.
insane.
And 100% free movement of all people they want.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
borders. We would cease to be a country. We would cease to be a country, a
Yeah.
nation. If you don't have borders, you're not a nation, are you?
No. And
And
you'd be
the country,
overrun by extraordinary people who don't share what you might call the values of this country, who think it's okay to treat women shit.
it's funny. It is quite interesting that you bring up that point, Viv, about kind of feelings. Because I was reading an article somewhere in the news recently, and it really was kind of talking about how sort of this why so many young women are being attracted to voting Green. And they kind of said the same thing. It's like because women, they go for the feels. It's the feel, the vibes. They don't look at it cold and rationally like a man, would do. Women kind of go on feelings a lot more. And the way the what's his name, the hypnotit, Zach Polanski, the leader of the Greens, he's been kind of. He's risen to prominence very quickly over the last few months, and the cracks are starting to show now. Thankfully, reality is starting to bite. He's starting to get scrutinised and found out. But yeah,
I do like Hypnotit. That was a great one. Hypnotit.
Yeah. I can't. I didn't make that one up. I nicked that one from someone else. But yeah, he is the Hypnotit. So yeah, it's going to crash and burn one way. We all know it is because it's it's right from the off. It was obviously like this is not gonna. This is ridiculous. This is not rooted in reality whatsoever. So at some point it will become a complete car crash. Although we probably think it is that already. But it's got to go through the process, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And that's what I mean about women have got their own strengths, and that emotional thing is a great strength, and that's why women are great and powerful. But it's no good as the leader of a company or someone in politics. That's not, unfortunately. And again, we're not saying men are better than women either, because again, it's a silly equation to say better because we're talking oranges and apples. But the men that get to the top of business are ruthless. They're very logical. They don't have time for Secretary Laura's problems at the water cooler. They just logically do the best thing for the company to make money and make their lives richer and better. And again, I'm not taking anything away, but there's a lot more emotion put into it in anything that a woman does, and I think that emotion is great. Don't get me wrong. I want to say there was a quote from Winston Churchill that I've always lived by, is that he said, "Behind every great man, there's an even greater woman." So again, I'm not I always comes across as though I'm putting women down. I'm just saying that I think we should go back to old-fashioned values where women knew what their strengths were, men knew what their strengths were, and we didn't interfere with each other.
Increasingly,
go on, Viv.
Increasingly, both men and women are completely captured by their emotions, and they don't allow themselves to step back and let the emotion flow over them, and then think, and then let reason and logic come into play. And it's not only women who does this.
No, it's my problem with my depression and PTSD and violence. I've always sat here now that I'm older and I'm not doing all that. I've always said I want more. I want to go into things logically, not with emotion, because the only reason you get angry is because you've got emotion attached to it, which means I must have an emotion attached to it. And I've always been trying to teach myself to because you're right, men are getting much more emotional. Or I do believe as men get older, our bodies then start producing less testosterone. You'll probably find that men do get more mellow because we haven't got that testosterone dragon riding us, or even we've got used to it. I don't know.
The gender roles are definitely being there's definitely been an attempt to kind of reverse them, I think, because
Mm.
men have become more emasculated now, and women have become adopted more of typically male attitudes. So in terms of not every woman, not every man, but in
No,
terms of
no.
the projection, you look at films now. They all have strong women in them, and they all
Yeah.
have weak men in them. Especially action films. Action films and superhero films. It's all strong, tough women, and the men are supporting them rather than the other way around. It's being pushed that way. But I mean, I mean, you talk about men being successful in business. You do get women being successful in business, but they're
Yeah.
women who have the attitude of the men. That's how they succeed, because they have that typically male attitude. And I will say, kind of from a political point of view, I mean, going back to the last 20th century, okay, name two of the strongest, I'm not necessarily saying best, but two of the strongest prime ministers that the UK had. And to me, two immediately spring to mind: Winston
Yeah,
Churchill and Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I knew you were going to say that. Yeah. Well,
So Margaret Thatcher, obviously,
I often think about my really good friend when I'm thinking about things like this. That also, when we talk about men and women, we are literally, genuinely only talking about a chemical. The only thing that makes me a man is that I had an injection of testosterone when I was born, and the only reason a woman is because she has a burst of estrogen when she's born, and that carries on through. And I say that because of my friend who's trans. So she was born one way, and yet she's taken chemicals all her life, and it's made her have the body of a female. I don't want to get off on that, but yeah, we are just literally talking about a chemical. So when I say, men are better at it, again, I'm not even just, I'm saying, because you said there's good women as well, and absolutely, and they might just have a bigger dose of testosterone. And when I was in the army, I met very strong girls. My best friend in the army, I often talk about her. She knocked me out once. She was as tough as any of the guys I served with. But they're few and far between. It's like you get very emotional men that are really good as nurses. I don't want to take anything away from them either. It is literally just a chemical in our body that makes us one way or the other.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's quite that clear cut, because our bodies are different. I mean, we have balls. Men have balls, and whatever you think, they do make a difference having those things there.
How would they make you?
I can't give you a quantifier. I can't sort of lay it out for you in words to describe it. But we are just different. We have different bodies. It's not just a chemical.
Oh, absolutely.
We have different bodies, and so the way our minds work is different. And you could say, that's down to chemicals. That is down to chemicals, yeah. But I just feel there's something a bit more than just a chemical reaction. I think there is a bit more to it than that. But I can't really sort of prove. Yeah, sorry, go on, Viv.
There is a nurturing aspect. There's a nurturing aspect as well, of course, which comes into the emotion side of things.
I'm also aware that I've got I know a few females that listen to this, and so I don't want to get the backlash from this. I do genuinely think women are great and powerful and as good as men. All I'm trying to point out is that we're completely different. And actually, while he's reloading in, yes, boobs and breasts and balls, but really that doesn't change anything about our emotional state or how we.
Oh, well, yeah, I don't know. You can't prove that, though, can you? There is no proof. Yeah, I mean, we are. You're talking kind of. You're separating the physical aspects with the non-physical like emotions, but we are in essence kind of a whole, everything together. It's everything is works. Everything affects
Okay.
everything else. Um, so I think kind of the types of body we have, or the way our bodies are, does affect us emotionally as well. I think you can't separate the two necessarily.
Yeah, but the fact that I could just start injecting you with estrogen and you would grow breast, or you would stop growing hair in certain places, means that like the
It
chicken and
means
the egg, means the chemical is more important. It dictates everything else, sort of thing.
well, not necessarily. I mean, it would change me. Absolutely, it would make a difference, but it wouldn't be it wouldn't necessarily be the be all and end all. It wouldn't be everything. It would affect me to a point, but it wouldn't affect me entirely.
What do you mean by that,
Yeah.
then?
Well, I mean,
Are you
you're saying it's all down to one chemical. Okay, if I was to start injecting myself with estrogen, it would completely transform me.
Mm.
And I'm saying no, it wouldn't completely transform me. It would certainly affect me, and it would change my physicality in some way, my body, but it wouldn't be everything. It wouldn't completely change me. It wouldn't be the only thing needed to completely transform me.
And obviously, we're getting into really hypothetical, but yeah, obviously you're older now, but the concept that when you were born, the only reason you developed a penis and testicles was because you had testosterone, and so that framework meant, right, he's going to pop out as a he, and then someone else has a
Is
loss of
that
estrogen. Gone.
But is that because we're formed in our mother's womb? Okay, so but it's the chicken and egg? Are we formed as a male first, then we start producing testosterone, or is it the other way around? Is it
Fair
we
enough.
start producing
Fair one.
testosterone and then we become a male? Um,
Fair one. Fair one. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I suppose
so
either way, it's that the chemical, or well, anyway, from my point of view, I just think that
yeah.
it's very interesting that all that I think it's just a chemical that separates males and
Mm.
females. But anyway, yeah, and again, as I say, I think, and yeah, I do think women are equal, and if it's kind of like that. What's that? I am a soppy romantic at heart, actually, but there's a line in Dirty Dancing that kind of sums it up. The main two are sat in, or the girl is sat with her parents, and the big guy comes over and says, "No one puts baby in the corner," and kind of protects her and takes her up and lets her show off, and she has the dance, and they have a lovely time together, and it's a great film. But again, it's if you've got a strong man and a very um, um, emotional woman, you'll have a great relationship because each of you will work well for each other's skill sets.
Yeah. I mean, you're just kind of outlining traditional gender roles. I mean,
Yeah,
so it's yeah. I mean, it's which kind of existed for most of us before. I don't know, definitely up until the second half of the 20th century. I mean, not to say that every man and women's relationship was a perfectly good relationship.
oh
Um,
god, no, yeah.
so it's just it's just gender roles. I mean, those are the ones which I mean, I suppose it's something that we need to. It's a path we need to explore to be able to come
Yeah,
back to and say we were right the first time, but we didn't know, so we had to go and have a look to see what that path was like, to make sure it wasn't the right one. And we tried it, and it's kind of like, no, actually, this is not really working out that well. So we maybe should go back to how it was. So maybe it's just a natural process that
yeah,
we
yeah.
will eventually right itself. We will kind of find equilibrium eventually.
Yeah.
Oh, hello, Viv, you back?
Oh, yeah.
Good. He's still here, He's still here.
I'm still here. Do I sound better? Is there a lag?
I don't think so. No.
Good.
Good,
Very
yeah,
good.
good. Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, do you know, someone took me out for a meal today because it's my birthday's coming up soon, which was very nice. Thank you so much. And she said to me, "Oh, when you do your show, do you guys, how long do you guys talk and set up the show and put it all together and that?" And I looked at her and smiled and I said, "Honestly, we talk for about." Yeah, there you go. The other two are smiling and laughing as well. There you go, girl. Yeah, I said, like, literally, we get on, we say hello to each other, we do personal bits and pieces, and then we get on with it. And she was like, "Oh my God, right. I thought you kind of structured that." And I think however long we've been talking for proves it. I didn't plan on talking about gender equality in the slightest. And that's how we roll, girl. That's how we roll.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Moving on anyway. Did we all do our civic duty today and go out and spoil our votes? All our ballots?
I was going to, but I didn't even go out. I came home and I thought, no, I can't be bothered.
Oh,
I mean,
Philip, we can't even persuade you. We've got no chance.
Honestly, it's just,
yeah, but just to clarify for those maybe not aware, local elections in the UK today. So
it's just so dispiriting. You go down, it's the same people, and it's the same. It's all the same. And some people might think, "Oh, this time I'll vote Green. Oh no, this time I'll vote Reform, or this time I'll vote whatever." Well, I think it's the system that's wrong, and I don't know how to change it. But it does look like, and it could be my fault. Maybe I should have gone out and made sure to stop the Greens or Labour or whatever. But yeah, I didn't.
It is. Yeah, I won't say it's any less disheartening this time than it has been, but there is a added interest because the original two-party systems it has been breaking down. So there's kind of a lot more uncertainty, So kind of Labour are being usurped by the Greens, the Tories are being usurped by Reform. So it's instead of just it's a straight two-horse race. There's lots of other options involved now.
Yeah, there are. But still,
yeah.
Still, I mean, one I would really want to vote for, though.
No, of course, yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's still the same old system, same old corrupt, dodgy, broken system. At the end of the day, so probably not a hell of a lot is going to change anyway.
No. I mean. What I think will happen is the Greens will really forge ahead, and as will Reform, but Starmer will continue. He's not going anywhere, I don't believe.
The only way he will go is if his party ousts him, and Labour traditionally are not very good at getting rid of their leaders. Certainly not as good as the Conservatives are. Conservatives have no problem getting rid of their leaders traditionally, but Labour don't. It's a lot harder for a Labour leader to be ousted by his own party.
Oh yeah.
Although it looks like there's a lot of talk about people like Wes Streeting and Andy Burnham vying for the role, and possibly Angela Rayner. But none of them. They're all just absolutely hopeless. A lot of them.
Yeah.
So there's no hope of any improvement there.
No.
Nothing happens. No.
But yeah, Starmer will continue because he's a bureaucrat, isn't he? And he got elected, and he's going to come and finish the job. He's going to stay on and finish the job, and this will energise him to do it harder and faster. And he may have a virus, a pandemic of his own, which is very exciting.
Oh, don't start! This story. Oh God, this is doing my head in. This story. We're talking about that yeah. This just sums up everything that I hate about this whole thing. This has been across the news in the UK. Okay,
Yes.
everywhere. It's been front page news, headline news all day today, and
Yeah.
everyone's talking about it. And it's nothing. It's not contagious and it's not deadly. It's nothing. And it's like, just shut up. I don't want to hear about it. I'm not interested. Really.
Ooh, but
It's ridiculous.
bronze. I mean, ooh, it's scary, and I bet
No,
you
it's
that.
not.
But it is, and I bet you that nice man who did all the modelling, Mr. Neil Ferguson. I bet you he's doing one of his dodgy models, isn't he?
No,
And it'll
the,
tell
the
us
only scary
how many millions are going to die from hand
The only scary
virus.
thing about it, are the media headlines. That's the only scary thing about it.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
know.
wait, shut up and go away. I'm not interested. I don't want to hear about it. It's nothing. Go away. Leave me
Yeah,
alone.
I know.
But you know what it is? Because they can't talk about anything political because of the law, because it's the elections today. So
Yes.
all of the broadcast media are not allowed to talk about politics. So they have
Yeah.
to talk about something else. That's what it is.
Yeah, but they'd love another virus. That was absolutely brilliant, the last one, for a lot of the laptop class. Oh,
Brilliant. Fantastic. I
that's
just love a virus. Me.
brilliant. Our virus is brilliant.
Cheesy
You get to
peas.
you get to stay at home all day and play guitar. Bollocks.
Yeah. Anyway, so enough of that. I don't even want to talk about that stupid
All right.
story.
Fair enough.
Sorry.
No.
Well, let me
I mean,
take
it's
you back
not,
to.
it's that,
Go on.
it's not much to say, really, is there?
No.
There's not much to say, but it's just a little bit of an outbreak on board the cruise ship, and someone said it was really bad, and someone said that it wasn't bad, and that's it, really.
I must admit, I'd hardly heard anything about it. I knew what you guys were talking about, but that was about it. But I don't know if you. I posted on Truth Social that my day yesterday, I got back and I looked out the window and I could see some people putting out leaflets, and I thought, I don't want to see who it is to get myself ready, whether I'm going to shout at them or not. And I'm looking, and I thought, that's light blue. That's got to be reform. That can't be right. But anyway, yeah, they got here, and it was a husband and wife couple. And I said, oh, hi, blah blah blah. He said, yeah, we literally just last second got our thing to be councillors here, so we're just last minute canvassing. I said, oh, well, you've got my vote. I said, I'll be honest with you, I'm not for reform, I'm a restore person, and I said, but with this situation, who knows what's going to happen, sort of thing. Anyway, his wife looked at me, she said, what did you just say? And I said, this situation. And I must admit, I made it up on the fly anyway. She said, oh my God, that is such a good word. I might use that in my literature. So I just want to put out now, genuinely, I want to put out now that if anyone if you see anyone using that as a word, you heard it here first.
Hey.
You should have copyrighted it for put a little.
Yeah.
After I said it, I thought that's one of those ones where it sounds obvious, and I'm surprised I haven't heard it used before. But
No.
But the point of that was that we had a last minute reform candidate, and I went down there this morning to do my vote. Excuse me, sorry. And blow me, there was 2 reform candidates, which I just thought, wow, that's weird. A couple of weeks ago, or a week ago when I looked, it was literally just the main parties, and suddenly we got 2 reform candidates popped up. So I chose the one that I'd spoke to just because I'd spoke to him on the door. And as I say, I'm not really voting reform. It's lesser of 2 evils. Go on.
I think you had to vote for both of them. I think you had, because on my ballot paper there was 3 of every party. Not every. I'm not saying every single party, but the parties that were on the paper, there was 3 candidates, and you had 3 votes. You could vote for 3 people. And I did, to be honest with you, I did think about voting reform, but I thought it's not going to make any difference. It's not going to make any difference. So I just spoiled my ballot paper. But so you may have had, because if there was 2 reform candidates on your ballot paper, then it may well have meant that there was 2 of every other party. Did they not tell you that you had how many votes you had when you went down there?
2 votes.
But you only put 1 in. You only voted for 1.
I'm really annoying myself. Do you, I'm right. I might have spoiled my ballot after all. Then, well, no, it won't go down as a spoil. No, because you don't have to vote for two, do you?
Yeah,
I don't know.
You do.
I don't know.
Right.
well, yeah, because you're voting for the unitary authority and for the urban council, like here for the small town, and then there's also the authority, which is in this case East Suffolk, I believe, is it, or South? One of those.
Yeah,
So it's.
but surely but does if 4D had 2 votes and he only used 1, does that 1 still not count?
I don't know. How do
Oh, well.
how do they apportion it? Because some people
Well,
clearly, I mean, well,
yeah, sorry.
they will be standing. Some of these people will be standing for the local council, the town council, the city council, and others will be standing for the wider authority. In this case, as I said, I think it's called East Suffolk. So you've got 2 votes, and you have to know who is standing for who. So maybe a vote will count.
Well, yeah, but I mean, there's a tick box next to each candidate. So that each candidate is obviously standing for whoever or whatever they are standing for. So if you just put a tick next to one candidate, then that vote is going to that candidate. It's not kind of just, we don't know who to apportion that one vote for because there's more than one candidate. So I'm not sure that will really count. Whether it's like, well, I'm not sure where that vote's going to go. Because it's yeah.
Well, that shows how bad that is. Because I must admit, I'm sat here thinking, oh my god, how silly.
They should have told you.
They should have told
you. Yeah. And if there's 2 reform candidates, I'm sure that you would have had 2 votes. They would have said 2 votes because there should have been 2 of every party.
Yeah, this is a right muddle then, isn't it? If they haven't told people, I knew this from reading the local paper.
Right. Yeah, I genuinely didn't, and genuinely wasn't said to me. No. Very interesting. Yeah.
It may be different. It may be different in other areas, but in this case, because the election was it was postponed down south as well. So yeah, but they finally conceded. They said, "Yeah, we will have elections this year instead." And looking through, and looking through the candidates and the local paper. Actually, it's online. It's very interesting. They've done a profile of every single candidate, right? And when I look in and I click in and I look at them, they say what they're standing for, whether they're standing for the council, the borough, the city council, or the authority, the wider authority, like the county council. Because here, I think it's the county council does the roads. It's not to do with the actual town council. They're responsible for the roads and all this. It's all kind of mixed up.
Well, yeah. Well, these local elections are quite. It's like you're first of all, you're not if you're voting for the Reform candidate, you're not voting for Nigel Farage, right? And a lot of people do vote for candidates who are of parties which they don't normally vote for because they are local people and they vote for them because of what they do locally, regardless of what party they're in. So you might get a general Tory voter and they might vote for the Labour guy because they know that he's good locally and he does a lot for the local, he does well for the local community. He does make sure the potholes get done and the bins get collected and so it's kind of, there's a lot of that does go on, in these local elections.
I agree, but I think this case that it's going to be much more directed towards national politics, although it shouldn't be. But that's what, say, all the Muslim candidates are doing. They're entryists with a view to a wider.
They're all voting for what's happening in Gaza, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. So it's not even national politics. They're voting for whatever. Yeah, as you say, whatever's going on in Gaza.
Yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, well, Labour are widely predicted to get absolutely hammered. They're going to lose a lot of seats. I think that much we can be sure of. They will lose a whole load of seats. Probably they applied.
I'm not even sure about that. Now
I think they will. I think they will. I mean, they're going to lose big in Wales,
maybe.
I think. 'Cause in Wales and Scotland, these are almost like national elections. This is for the whole of Wales and Scotland. So I think Plaid Cymru in Wales will probably win through there. Labour will be decimated there. Probably in Scotland as well. But Plaid Cymru aren't any better.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
Have either of you two got any sort of the most up to date voting guessing I can get is from yesterday, and we have Reform at 26% of the vote, Labour at 18%, Conservative at 18%, Lib Dems at 11%, and then Green at 15%. As they saw it last night, I believe that was last prediction.
Exit polls are generally, we'll be getting exit polls, and they're generally more accurate than any other poll because, you're talking about people who are, have decided what they're going to vote for.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at Sky News, right, and this is the extent they are reporting on dogs being not allowed in polling stations. That's how much information they have. So there's obviously
brilliant.
Yeah, seriously, they're taking pictures of dogs being tied up outside polling stations. This dog wasn't allowed in this polling. It's like, okay, so absolutely nothing. They've got nothing to report whatsoever.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah. Don't hold your breath. It's not going to be anything, groundbreaking. It's going to be probably embarrassing for Starmer.
A man can't be embarrassed. It's not possible.
I don't know what's happened with the. I don't know what's happened in talking of embarrassing Starmer. The as George Galloway puts it, the Ukrainian Red Boys. I don't know what's happening with that. That case seems to have gone cold this week. There was 3 days reporting, and then it just over the weekend it just went nothing. I haven't heard anything from it since. So don't know what's with that.
I know. That's a good point. I'm not sure what's been going on. To be honest.
Well,
I thought you were the one keeping up with it, actually.
I have been trying to keep it up. Yeah, up with it. Yeah, I have. But it just seems it's not really moved forward. Apart from, I did hear that that they one of them says he doesn't know that Starmer was the Prime Minister.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. In fact, he said he didn't have a clue who he was meant to be doing, sort of thing.
Yeah, and we still all we know is this character El Money is still being used in the defence.
But the courts have said not to worry about him. Don't look into him. That's nothing to do with it. Just stick with the 3 guys. Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
That's what the judge said, which is very suspicious. What do you mean? Don't look into a main character in this whole case. What are you talking about, Judge? Why are you telling us not, to do that? But,
unless you're playing GTA 5, is there anyone in the world that's actually called El Money?
No, it's ridiculous, isn't it? It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Hello, Mr. Bond. I am El Money. Money.
I expect you to die, Mr. Bond. I don't know if the case has carried on this week, because it started last week and it went 3 days up to the weekend, and then there seemed to be a break over the weekend. It's like, okay, maybe they're not sitting for the weekend, and now I expected it to resume this week. And the guy I was following who was covering it, Will Coleshill, he did 3 days of it last week. I've been checking in this week and there's been nothing from him. So I don't know. Has the case just been put on hold? The trial been put on hold? I don't know. I have no idea. It's really weird.
Good point. That's a very good point. I'll be able to tell you now as I search.
While he searches, there is another person covering it. Do you know the guy on YouTube called Silver Fox?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's covering it at the moment. It was on because it was also covered on Dan Wootton tonight.
All right.
So there are a couple of people who actually still. So it is still going on. Whatever's going on, yeah, it is still active.
Yeah, maybe George Galloway himself has got some updated. I don't really
Amazing
follow
how
him.
there's amazing how there's such a media close down on it though.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at it is amazing, isn't it? But as far as I know, there is no gagging order on this. A number of
No.
people have told me this.
Yeah.
I mean, this is today. I'm looking at what's on at the Old Bailey on May the 7th. Court 2, 10 a.m. Trial in the case of Roman Lavrinovich and another Ukrainian and a Romanian who's actually Ukrainian accused of arson.
Yeah, that's it. It's trial, yeah. So that was,
and that's it. So it's still on, and the court heard a Russian paid them to do it. There we go. A big boy did it and ran away.
so it has been going on this week.
Yep.
So the fact that there's no alternative media covering this is a bit weird. But I mean, this whole kind of silence on this, even though supposedly isn't a gagging order, it's kind of something which has surrounded Starmer since he's been in. You know, there has been this kind of willingness amongst the media not to report on certain things, certain stories regarding him. It's kind of a weird thing on there.
I
It's not
know.
the first time. So it's almost like there is some kind of power, going on there. So telling them and making sure they don't report on it, and they're following orders.
Yeah, I mean the Old Bailey again. It has been going on, but they're only reporting what I just said. Basically, the paragraph of Court 2 trial. The court heard a Russian paid them to do it, and that was yesterday.
Right. Okay. Well, that was
nothing's moving. It seems really.
Oh well, we just have to just sit on that one and see what happens.
Yeah. I know.
Or maybe not sit on it. Maybe that's not quite the right way to.
Maybe not.
Yeah. Anyway,
something else I'd come across that I think I posted it in here yesterday was Jeff. I forget what his surname is, but he put out a video about how Jeff Taylor. Yeah, he put out a thing about how senior members of the church have been called forward to prepare their flocks for a possible alien news coming out. Did either of you two see that story at all?
Yeah.
What did you think of that?
I do know that there's a bit of talk in the churches about exorcism and about demons. Whether that's linked or not, I do not know, because some people believe actually aliens are in fact demons. Some Christian groups, so I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah, I would hazard a guess that there's probably a connection there. But who has, you said the story that churches have been told to prepare. Who have they been told by?
Good question. Yeah, good question. I don't know. Yeah,
and it does get onto this whole thing about the pending, the supposed disclosure. This whole subject with aliens and a possible alien invasion, be it fake or otherwise. And that kind of just opens up a whole massive can of worms. It's like more questions than answers going on there with that one. But yeah, I mean, if church leaders are being told, because it is quite, if you think about it, it's like if just imagine that aliens did make themselves known to us, sometime in the near future. and there was no doubt about it anymore. The whole world knew aliens really exist. They're advanced. They have spaceships or whatever. That they would become the highest power that we know of, the highest verifiable power. At the moment and they could even give us a new perspective on the nature of religion and God. Does God exist? We don't know. We don't. None of us know if God exists or not. It's just a belief. And aliens could really provide that answer. The possibility is there. They or at least would have more knowledge on the subject than we would. One assumes. And it could literally. I mean, we kind of have to. We have two forms of what would you call it? Kind of leadership in society. Humanity does generally. We have government and we have religion. One or two, either one of those tends to lead society or to govern society or rule society. And the whole thing about an alien invasion could completely just trash both of those and set a whole new playing field with regards to that. So if they could fake it, can you imagine how, we know that we essentially are, they are essentially the whatever you want to call them, the cabal, the deep state. They want to control us globally. And if they could manage to pull off a fake alien invasion, that would be just like a wet dream for them to be able to do that, because they could really could really give means to completely control everyone, no matter because that they could put a message out which would overrule every religious belief and every government. Because it's
absolutely.
So that's kind of quite scary, the possibility of that. But there does seem to be building momentum. There's a lot of comms about aliens surrounding the whole alien, ET, extraterrestrial, UAPs, UFOs, whatever. There really does seem to be something coming with regards to this, and the exact nature of it. Who knows what it will be? But yeah. Did you see also? Somebody asked Trump. What's the most bizarre thing that you have? I'm paraphrasing now, but as the US president, what's the most bizarre thing which you have seen or learnt or heard? And he said, "If I told you that, I'd have to resign immediately. I can't tell you that."
Yeah.
Oh.
He's been doing a lot of those kinds of things, though, hasn't he? He likes to just throw the cat amongst the pigeons.
Yeah. So there could be sorry.
I was more interested in when someone had gone up to him on Air Force One and said, "What do you think about Obama saying that aliens are real?" And he said, "Well, that's it. He's sort of broke protocol. That's what was it? He said that's that he shouldn't have released that. So maybe I'll release it and I'll save him from getting arrested." I'm paraphrasing as well, but I thought that was like a real giveaway.
Well, yeah, exactly. But I don't know. It seems like these teasers have been going on for quite a while now. So whatever it is, probably will be revealed. But when it will be revealed, it seems like it's coming. But how soon is anybody's guess, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I've been into this alien world since I was a youngster, since I first watched Star Wars, really. But the last 10 years, 6 to 10 years, it has been a full-on alien this, UFO that, UAP this, different stuff slowly coming out. I have wondered if, again, it was just waiting. You get the first conspiracy theorists that jump on it, they start to slowly believe, and then you get the other ones, and now we're at a point where they've gone to the heads of churches and said, right, this is going to be big, get ready for it. Because, it's very interesting what it would mean, what it would mean for the world, in as much as I've always said, I don't believe in a Christian God person, but I do believe in the Christian ways, and even if tomorrow it was all revealed and aliens are real and it's nothing to do with the Bible, I would still fight to be a Christian country. And I don't know if that sounds very crazy to an actual Christian. And having spoke to an actual Christian about this, she said the other way. She said, if I find out aliens are real, it still won't take me away from God because I believe in God. So I do wonder what sort of an effect that will have.
Well, I suppose it all depends on what the aliens have to say. I mean,
True.
would if an alien said to a Christian, everything you believe in isn't real. The God that you believe in doesn't exist, and everything in the Bible is just kind of made up. No matter how good or helpful it may be, would you still believe in God if I told you that God didn't exist? So, I mean, your Christian friend, she, was she coming from that point of view? Even if an alien, an ET, said to her, "Your God doesn't exist," would she still continue believing in that respect, or was it just the fact that aliens exist? That aliens exist, regardless of what whether they said anything about the nature of God or not.
From her point of view, she full on absolutely 100% believes in God and Jesus Christ. So her answer was, it wouldn't actually matter if aliens revealed themselves. That would just be part of God's plan. And we have our little light argument, shall I say? And I said, well, it's not written in the book, so surely that sort of crumbles down the book. But that's, I suppose that is the glorious, lovely part about faith, is if you believe, you just believe. So I guess what that lady was saying was it wouldn't matter, because I suppose in her mind, you could even sort of say, well, hang on, I don't know if that's not the devil, just because aliens have revealed themselves and that has been shown to me. From her point of view, she probably would say, well, hang on, that's the work of the devil. It's hard for me to see because I'm not a believer, and that's why that's why I enjoy this kind of conversation. But
yeah, I mean, well, that kind of goes back to what Viv says about how some Christians believe that ET, the extraterrestrials are demons. But also, it's like just because if we find out that non-human extraterrestrials actually do exist, that doesn't prove or disprove God exists on its own. Just because they exist, that doesn't say anything about the existence of God or not. But if they come to you and say, we know that God doesn't exist, that's the difference. That's what I'm trying to discern, the difference between those two.
Right, gotcha. Yeah.
Well, people can say what they want, including alien people. They can say what they want, but we'd need to see proof.
Exactly, and that's how would you? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's kind of still, unless they had some special. Yeah, there's no way to prove it, is there? Really, there is no way to prove it.
From my point of view, it disproves Christianity, and for the reason being, and again, obviously, I'm not a Christian, so I don't know all the facts. But to me, if the book of or the Bible, sorry, and you live by the Bible, and it tells everything that sort of happened, why did it not at any point sort of in there say, and one day you'll meet your brothers and sisters from another planet, or why was it? 6 days created the earth, the heavens, blah blah blah. There's no inserting of other races and creatures, and so from my humble point of view, it would at least not prove or disprove a God, but it would disprove Christianity. Is that fair? There
are many mentions of fallen angels in the book. Fallen angels are not humanoid.
This is true.
True. Don't forget that there are books which have been taken out of the Bible.
Yeah,
absolutely, and that's why I'm kind of because the Ethiopian Bible, which has something like 43 extra books in it. It speaks of giants and winged beasts, as well as angels and demons and devils. So yes.
Mm.
Okay.
Who wrote the Bible?
Second.
Who wrote the Bible? Was the Bible written by essentially human beings, or was it written by some other kind of entity? Was it actually written by God? I'm not sure it was.
It's written by humans.
Yeah, I was going to say it's always open to interpretation because it's always humans, and even well, actually, Viv should be answering it. He's the more Christian of us, actually.
Well, the people are named. A lot of them are obscure, but some of them, by the time you get to the Christian part of the Bible, which is the New Testament, it has authors. There are authors. I mean, we don't know exactly in the Old Testament who some of these people were, but we do know that, say, St. John of Patmos, who wrote the last book of the Bible, which is Revelation, he was a person, and he had visions, and the visions showed the end of the world, and it showed that it would fall into chaos. Now, I can't remember him mentioning aliens in this, but then again, as I said earlier, the fallen angels and the demons aren't human. So I wouldn't be surprised if some Christians said that how do we know this? How do we know that this isn't Satan? This isn't the Antichrist come to earth? I mean, the Antichrist, again, is not a human figure. It's probably symbolic, but like a lot of the Bible, but, there are literal-minded Christians. So,
well, I mean,
it would cause a big old storm, that's for sure.
Well, it would. It probably would create a big divide because, I mean, you would get the willing who would just go for it straight away and go, here we are at last, aliens that now at last we know. But then you would also get the doubters, and they may well have very good grounds for, the skeptics. There's a lot of skeptics. People are skeptical, and skeptical for a very good reason.
Yeah, hello, I'm here.
Yeah, exactly. So there'd be questions. We wouldn't just jump in and say, "Yeah, hey, come in. The water's lovely." We'd say, "Hold on a minute. This is very interesting, but let's kind of, let's try and get a bit more, find out a bit more what's going on about this." So yeah.
How do you provide the proof of a being which is metaphysical? In other words, above physicality. So you can't bring him in and say, we've got him, we've captured him, he's in chains. Yeah. Or,
Well, to me, that's the clever part of the lie. It's that you cannot prove it, and thus it will always be there.
Well, that is the nature of that is faith, isn't it? That's what faith is all about.
Oh, yeah. I mean, some religious writings, you just look at them and you think, oh, come on, like Mormons. We're really expected to what's his name? Smith, the founder of Mormonism, went
John
out.
Smith. John Smith.
No. Oh, who's it? Smith.
Adam Smith.
Joseph Smith.
Yeah.
Joseph Smith went to the desert, or as they were traveling to settle America, and he found these tablets engraved on metal. And they were the Book of Mormon, and he brought them back, but he lost them. They disappeared. He lost them, didn't he? Really, really careless.
It's all right. It got rediscovered and it got turned into a comedy musical written by the guys who did South Park. So it's all right. It's all been rediscovered now.
Yeah,
I jest, of course.
It's like Islam. I don't believe that's a proper religion.
It's not. It's an ideology that uses religion to for its own ends.
Yeah,
get away with
uses its religion for power, and Christianity has certainly done that as well. Has been wedded to power. It's not so much now, but it sort of is.
Christianity went through a reformation, which kind of which it really needed to do. And comparing it in that way to Islam can't do that. It doesn't have the bandwidth to do that. But yeah, so the Christian Reformation really did kind of modernize Christianity in a way, which enabled it to kind of move forward and survive.
It did,
Otherwise,
but I would argue it's caused a lot of problems, that modernisation, the Reformation. I mean, I'd argue that it's led to the rise of Calvinism and unfettered greed and capitalism, which grew from Calvinistic beliefs in predeterminism, which means that God would reward those who made money. The more money, the greater the benevolence and the wisdom of God in bestowing this fortune on his people. The Calvinists, of course, it would be.
If there had not been a Christian Reformation, where would we be now with regards to Christianity? How would the world look, the Christian world look now? Would it still be kind of barbaric and you know, because Christianity used to be really totalitarianism. It, you know, back in the days of you know, the Dark Ages and what have you. When religion ruled, it ruled with an iron fist and superstition.
Well,
you know?
yeah, certainly there was an element of that, but let's not forget that witch burning was a Protestant hobby.
Yeah, was it?
Oh yeah.
Okay, all right.
Church burning, witch burning, church desecration, idolatry, removal of statues, stained glass, and the beauties of medieval churches was all Protestant doing. The doing of Protestants, particularly, as I said, Calvinists, who became known as Puritans.
Yeah. And of course,
also don't forget that Christianity is only the modernist version of a god. Before that, we were worshipping Thor and Loki and Odin, and then before that was the sun and the moon. It's almost like it just, and also like Loki and the Thor, they were all alien sort of creatures, just like all of everything that we've spoke about. It's almost like the truth has always been there. Humans have just changed it for control and writ different books to announce their control over people.
Yeah, I mean, the anarchist strand of Christianity says that it's providing a freedom because of free will. Early Christians escaped from the city; they went into the desert. They weren't interested in control. In fact, they didn't want people around. They wanted to contemplate the God and Christ and live their lives without sin. And they were some of the earliest Christians, called the Desert Fathers and Mothers in Egypt. So there's a lot of strands to it, a lot of strands. I mean, Methodism, which grew up in the 18th, 19th century, became absolutely integral to the foundings of the Labour Party and unionism. So, gosh, I mean, there's a lot of different strands. You can't say Christianity's...
It's a bloody mess.
Well, of course it is. Of course. Yeah.
A lot of that. Sorry, not to belittle the religious, the core religious belief, but a lot of it has developed is down to human failings and egos and you know, lust for power. Kind of what you might attribute to virtues of the devil. You know, the materialistic things rather than the real. So you know, so it has become corrupted for the most part, especially the big organized churches. It's all corrupted. It's all captured and corrupted. You know, it's like what you.
Maybe Orthodox, maybe the Orthodox Eastern Church. Not so much. It's hard to say, really. I mean, you can't keep it down. The Soviets tried to get rid of Orthodoxy, and it's back stronger than ever.
or Stalin even recognized the value of it during World War II, when the Soviet Union was in a really difficult place. He invoked, he kind of encouraged it for a while, because he knew it was good for the strength of the nation.
Yeah. So it's a ball of confusion, but that's life.
And it just
nothing's ever straightforward, and as much as people would like it to be.
So as much as we'd like to, we're not going to make any sense out of that one this evening, I don't think.
Even with our massive brains, no.
Brain the size of the planet. Don't talk to me about life.
University of life, that's me.
Yeah. Anyway,
someone was linking these missing scientists to this whole going to the churches and saying that aliens are going to be revealed to us, that they're not dying, and it's all a cover up. They're being taken away to that they were actually aliens helping us. Reveal the future.
What is your proof and your basis that aliens are good, kind of not people, but good ETs? You know, why can't they just be bad bastards like in Mars Attacks?
Why can't they be both?
I don't know, because they wouldn't share human morality, perhaps.
Some would, some might.
They might.
Who's to know that human morality has not been passed on to us from extraterrestrial races, forebears?
Well, it comes from various sources. It comes from human development. Basically, morality is a way to get on, to coexist.
It's just instinct. It's just human instinct, I think. It is a survival mechanism to a certain extent, I would say. Yes.
Yeah, but it's not universal. It's not a universal thing. I mean,
my argument to that is that if it's the cover up, the lie that to me is the important thing. So if the aliens are really, really good and benevolent, lovely creatures, why would you have to lie and keep them away from you? So then I go to, okay, so if they're absolute scumbags, evil, and then you can understand why there would be a cover up and a lie. And so, and I, when I got into this whole alien thing, I'm into the old idea that we've been farmed for many, and that they abduct us, they use us for their whatever, whatever it is, that thousands and thousands of humans disappear every year, and that we are just a breeding country, a planet. So when Viv posed the question, how do you know if they're good or bad? That's why I'm so worried about this. Is I've always said I've got an inkling that it's not good for us, because they're the ones that have got to us, and they're the ones that have covered up the fact that they're here. And anyone that covers up is dodgy.
You have just described the government as well.
Absolutely.
I would also say, if they are malevolent, and why haven't they just come down and taken us over and enslaved us? Because we would still be able to serve the purpose that they want us for, if that in that case.
Well, imagine if you found out. Yeah, but that's the thing. So if you find out tomorrow that we are a slave planet and that they farm us indiscriminately, they just take thousands of people a year. What do you it's going to hinder you wanting to have children. It's going to hinder you wanting to carry on. You may find the lie is there, because without it would be chaos, and they wouldn't get their whatever they're getting from us.
But they can make us do that anyway. But they can surely they have the means to force that upon us. That they can impregnate women. I'm sure.
Well, clearly not. Well, yeah, that's. I suppose that's the only way I go with that, is that clearly not. That maybe, like we've talked about adrenochrome before. Maybe if you've got a scared population, what they feed off maybe it makes it poisonous to them. Maybe they have to have us sort of in a particular state.
Yeah, but it's all maybe right
Of
now,
course,
isn't it?
yeah, yeah.
You know, I mean, David Icke, reptilians. Yeah, well,
We're
why?
just people just project their particular cultural beliefs onto aliens. You
Well,
know, I
it's
mean,
kind of it's a fun topic. It's a fun topic, and
it's definitely a fun topic. But I would say, why are you saying that they are men and women? Why would they want to impregnate women if they have a different way of reproducing? Maybe they're both men and women joined together. I mean, there's a
I was
great
gonna
book
s-
by Ursula K. Le Guin about. It's one of her series when she takes. It's like a Trek, a superior Star Trek thing. They go to planets, and she describes one planet where there's only one sex, right? And this sex also gives birth. It's a male and female mixture,
yeah, it's
sort
like an
of.
earthworm.
yeah, like a seed.
Yeah. So we don't know, do we, until they show themselves?
Yeah, but I mean, we're also kind of assuming that there's only one type of alien. You know, well, there
Ooh.
could be thousands of different species of aliens, ETs. You know, and like I
Mm.
said, some of them could be good, some of them could be bad, some of them could be indifferent. It could be you know, anything is possible. Absolutely anything is possible
I mean,
at the moment.
their view of good might be
Well,
killing
let's
and
say,
wiping out the scourge of humanity, which is threatening the
well,
galaxy.
okay, let's say benevolent and friendly and you
All
know,
right.
or hostile.
Mm.
One of those.
Mm. Yeah.
But listen, time's pushing on, so I reckon it's time for Viv's bookshelf. So, Viv, what have you been reading this week?
Oh, right. I've been reading sort of spooky, weird. I've been reading a person who it's written about 100 years ago, but he wrote a book called Widdershins. His name is improbably Oliver Onions. He's a real person, but
Oliver Onions.
Oliver Onions, yeah.
Love it, love it.
Oliver Onions, yeah. He's done this very, very clever story. You don't know if the person is going mad. He's a writer. He's written in an abandoned house, and he feels possessed by the former denizen there, by someone who used to live there, or does he? Is he going mad? And very, very clever sort of thing. I'm really into. It's one of the best. And I've also received the book. I haven't started reading it, called The Wizard of the Kremlin. And it's a fictionalized account of the rise of Vladislav Surkov. If I've mentioned Surkov before as being a very important 21st century figure, Surkov introduced this whole idea. Was essentially uh, uh, basically Surkov came from the art world, and he introduced contradictory measures so that people were really confused. They just didn't know what was real anymore, and that's the point. And seems to me that Surkov's ideas have spread to the West. Surkov basically would back different sides. He'd back left wing, right wing. He'd back nationalists. He'd back all sorts, and it was absolutely chaotic. Nobody knew. He used postmodern art techniques, and when everything is fake and no one knows what's real, and it created what is called hypernormalism. So
Mm.
I've got this book, The Wizard, and there's a film out now starring Jude Law as Putin, and an actor I've not heard of, playing Surkov, who's fictionalized in this. And it's the book I bought, which is lightly fictionalized, and it's called The Wizard of the Kremlin. So there you go.
It's one of the terms that the Q community used to use all the time that would wind me up because I don't really understand it, and that was witches, wizards and warlocks. And there was always reference to this is a fight between wizards and warlocks, and I don't really understand what that is, but the whole idea of conjuring and tricks and deceiving, I suppose.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. But
So you haven't gone back to Frodo Baggins at all, then?
not yet. No, it will be. It will come again. But I'm get so distracted, and I should stop ordering books. I mean, my Irene Handel book arrived.
Oh, how's that?
Really?
Yeah, yeah, it looks really good. Actually, it looks mental.
I don't understand, Viv. Sorry, just this whole thing about you when you start reading a book and then you get distracted and start reading another one.
Yeah,
Like, how do you remember? Like, you've got a certain point into Lord of the Rings, right? And then
yeah.
you've gone off reading these other books. When you come back to Lord of the Rings, how do you remember what? How do you remember what's happened? Because whenever I do that, I'm like, okay, I can't remember what's gone on in this story because I haven't been reading it for ages, and I
Yeah,
have
I
to
know.
kind of go back.
Yeah, no, I mean, I know exactly where I am. I know exactly where I am.
Oh,
Bilbo
well,
Baggins.
there'll be a quiz. There will be a quiz, Viv.
Oh, Bilbo's gone off on gone off a wandering after throwing a lavish party.
All right, yeah, okay. You haven't got deep enough into it yet.
No, not yet. No, no, I will do. I will do. But yeah, it's true. I do get distracted, and also it depends on the time of year. I started Lord of the Rings when it was cold, and it just felt, yeah, I'll snuggle down and get into this book.
All right. You're what is known as a seasonal reader.
Well, yeah, I think so. Not always, but I mean, I read
No
War
idea
and
what that
Peace.
means. I've no idea what that means. I just made it up, by the way.
Seasonal reader, yeah, it would be. You know, I am a seasonal reader. I'd read autumnal books or springtime books. Not all the time, of course, but occasionally I think, oh, that one. I've read War and Peace, which is largely set in Napoleon. Well, not it climaxes with Napoleon's invasion of Russia, and it's very, very wintry. I read it in a very hot Spanish week, which is boiling in the south of Spain. So it doesn't necessarily seasonal, but it enhances the pleasure. I think if
But
you're,
you read War and Peace from start to finish in 1 week.
I did, yes, yes, yes.
Wow. Okay, that's good going.
It is really, but that was non-stop pretty much.
Hmm.
I wanted to get
Obviously,
through it. I wanted to grasp it, you know, and I did, because that's not a book you can stop and go back to. You really can't. And I'm sure that Lord of the Rings will turn into that sort of book, but you can't stop halfway through War and Peace and then expect to pick up. You have to just go on, just go through it, immerse yourself in it. And it is an
well,
amazing book. It's an amazing
I'm
book.
kind of hoping. I'm kind of hoping that Lord of the Rings, once you get into it, it becomes the book that sometimes when I read a book and I'm really enjoying it, it's the type of book that I don't want to put it down in case I miss something.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
it's kind of that. It's almost like you're watching a film, and if you don't want to leave the room in case you miss something. It's
I
kind of that
know.
sort of feeling. It's so good and so engrossing.
Yeah, it's still very clear in my mind, so I can pick it up easily. But I think you're quite right. It will. If I start again, I just got to go on through it. You know, I mean, like, I've given up the Tomcat book, and I've come back to it now after reading some other books, and I pick it up easily, very easily. But it's the Tomcat Mur is supposed to be one of the most complicated books of the 19th century. I must admit, once you get the grasp of the concept, it's not. I don't find it complicated at all. But maybe I've read so many books now. I'm used to that way they all go. I don't know. I mean, I did used to read 100 books a year. You know, at least 100.
Blimey, that's like one every 3.6 days.
That's correct. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, this is because of my job, which was brilliant. I told you about smart working. Yeah, I'd just go in. I'd work smart. They'd say, "You've got this to do today and this." And I'd say, "Okay." And instead of following the rule of working, which is work expands to find the time available for its completion, I think, no, I'll just be as quick as I can, and then I'll have the afternoon off, and I can read online, and I'd do that. So I would be reading online, and then I'd read at lunchtime, I'd read on the tube there and back, and I'd read in the evening. So it's quite possible. I mean, I could easily read a book a day, depending on the length, of course.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's just my thing, reading. It has been for, well, all my life, really.
And have you received your actual new bookshelf yet? As mentioned.
I went to look for it. Okay, I went to the shops. Nothing. There was one for 150. I thought, no bollocks, I'm not paying that.
Yeah, that's
You know,
expensive. Yeah.
second hand. It's a nice bookshelf. So I've ordered another one of those ones that I struggled with. Yeah, yes, I have. Yeah, yeah. I'm a sucker for punishment. That I'm looking forward to grappling with that bastard. But I had a good few days off. I got lost. Well, I was thinking I was coming back from a bit despondent, not finding bookshelves, and I thought, well, I'll go and get some wild garlic. They're called Ramsons, and I know a patch where they grew, but damned if I could find it this year. And I kept on wandering through, and I thought, I know it's here somewhere. And then it was getting more brambly, and I got stuck in a bramble bush. And I thought, shit, I was getting all prickled, and holly bushes were almost attacking me. It was like bloody Evil Dead 1.
All for some wild garlic.
All for wild garlic, which is, it's expensive when they sell it in the shops, but it's free. And it doesn't taste that garlicky. It's more of a onion, it's a green leaf, and it's oniony. It's really tasty. You mix it with mash, have it with a stew. So, or make a salad, or all sorts of things. Cook it like spinach if you want. But no, so I got lost in Hollywell's Wood, basically, Hollywell's Park, which is ridiculous. but I did. And the other thing is, it's also about my bookshelf. Tangentially, I do like to smoke tobacco, and I won't bring this up, Bronze, but I do smoke. And I went to my shop where I get £15 packet of 50 grams of Golden Virginia, and it's 15 quid under the counter.
Bloody cheap.
Yeah,
I mean,
really,
I used to get 50-gram amber leaf. It used to cost me 25 quid.
Yeah, well,
so
this
you're doing well then.
Yeah, this is 15. So I go in. I went after stand. I went in with Gavin. My neighbour, long hair, lives next door. And he said, "We need some of that as well." Vivs. I said, "All right." So we go, and I said, "Oh, can I have some of the Golden Virginia, the special for And I showed him the packet. He went, "No, my friend." And he opened up the back shelf, and it was all the grey stuff. And so I thought, oh dear. So I said, "Well, come on, Gav, let's try some other of these so-called European food shops." Next one, and no, we don't have this. Another one, and they all look very scared. So it looks like there's been a clampdown, right?
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is interesting because I did. Someone was talking about this, and they were saying the story was about how, I think it was on Lotus Eaters actually. They were talking about this, and they were saying at least 50% of your average high street shops in the UK are fronts for something else. And they named the obvious ones: the Turkish barbers, the nail bars, the chicken shops, so on and so forth.
Yep.
And I was thinking about this because I used to get my tobacco under the counter from the shop at the end of my road, and I kind of thought, why are you doing that? What you surely you can't be making that much money to be running that risk.
They are making a fortune.
Well, here's the thing, right? Well, on this when they were talking about this in the Lotus Eaters, they were talking about how a lot of these shops are fronts for all sorts of criminal activity.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of thinking all of these guys who are selling tobacco under the counter cheaper, there's other criminal activities going on there. There's other stuff. It's not just they're getting some tobacco and they're selling it untaxed. They're involved in deeper stuff. So all of these shops that you're now going to are saying, no. It sounds like something's absolutely is going on there with regards to that. And it's not just about tobacco. It's probably something deeper going on with the whole criminal organizations, which are kind of...
Yeah. I do know a shop that was on one of the main streets in the town. It was shut. It's a Romanian owned. It was shut down because in the back they found prescription drugs. Yeah. They found homemade alcohol, and they found tobacco. That's about all they found, but they shut it down, and now it's open again. I'm thinking, well, hang on. Why is it open? Why is it open?
I'll tell you why it's open, Viv, is because this is so widespread, and it's not like the authorities don't know about this. They do know about it. They know about it. They just don't do anything about it. Now the question remains: why do they not do anything about it? Are they in on it somehow? Are they getting kind of kickbacks from this?
Yeah,
which is. It's all the corruption is just so widespread now.
I mean, the people that are trying to shut this down are also part of a criminal mafia, called government and local government. So they're all in it together.
Or maybe it is just another actual criminal enterprise in competition. Maybe they're vying for.
Yeah, of course it is. Because 15 quid, right? That's nice. 50 grams of Golden Virginia.
That is very good, yeah.
That's nearly half price, nearly.
Well, yeah. In Sainsbury's, I go in, I thought, shit, I'm going to have to buy tobacco. And I go in and I get 50 grams of a brand called Riverstone, which I thought was one of the cheapest, and it was 41 quid.
Yeah, I know. It's shocking, isn't it? It's daylight robbery.
I paid 28 pounds now. It's crazy, yeah.
Well, just before I gave up, mine went up from 25 to 28. The guy said, no, it's £28 now. It's like, okay, that's one of the reasons I thought, right, I'm giving up.
Well, yeah.
Just fed up and paying for all this crap.
I know, and I hate giving the state my money because they're only going to spunk it, aren't they?
Yeah, 40 quid. That is shocking. Absolutely shocking.
Absolutely.
How much does a packet of 20 cigarettes cost now?
I don't know.
Whenever I see someone smoking actual cigarettes, proper cigarettes, I kind of think, how can you afford it?
Well, I see a lot of people smoking cigarettes in this town, and they're all Romanians or Turkish who've got mates who bring them in. Most of the cigarette packets I see on the floor are illegal, so-called illegal, but they've not got duty on them.
Yeah, I mean, if they've got the branding, I mean, because they're all nondescript, kind of brown coloured now. You can't tell what brand they are unless you look really closely, and it says really, really. But the packaging is all the same across the board now, isn't it? For all cigarettes. So the packaging has been done away with. So if they've got the original packaging, you can tell they're illegal. Because I used to get belief, and it wasn't in the brown packaging; it was in its like original yellow packaging. Yeah,
yeah. No, Golden Gin is in the red. I got a blue, green. Yeah, just run through the spectrum there, lads.
Yeah. Viv's gone colourblind. He's gone colourblind in an oral scent.
So bloody books have done it to him.
I'll blame it on the books. Yeah.
Yeah. But so there you go. Something's coming down. Something's hit them, and they all look scared. I mean, Gav said this. He said, "Mate, they all look scared." And I said, "Yeah, they certainly do."
Well,
don't they?
I would suggest that is not the government doing that. That is probably part of the criminal, the actual underground criminal enterprise doing something going on there. I reckon. If they're scared, they wouldn't be scared of the government, would they?
Well, no.
Yeah, interesting.
I know.
It's funny. Everyone's at it. Everyone's at it now. It's so easy to get sort of illegal tobacco now under the counter.
I know.
Really easy.
But that's because government's done it to itself.
Well, honestly, listening to you two, I was kind of nodding and agreeing with what what Bron said, in as much as like we're to blame for buying the cheap tobacco to extend that criminal organisation. You know what I mean? I always think of it, as I've said openly, I do smoke cannabis, and that's another reason why I hate doing it, is because I don't know what I'm funding criminally to get hold of that stuff. You know,
but it's really double-edged sword, because as Viv says, it's either you're funding a shady criminal enterprise that you don't know anything about, or you're paying more and funding a criminal enterprise that you know everything about, i.e., the government. So you can't really win. So you just go for that. Okay, well, this one's cheaper. You know, you're funding criminality either way. So
because the government criminal cartel, they're doing totally dodgy stuff. They're using it to kill people. They're using their taxes to kill people. They're sending it to wars for their you know. So they're killing people as well on a greater scale than a small gang could do. Much greater scale and impoverishing. And remember what they did during COVID? They murdered people. The state murdered people in care homes and through do not resuscitates and no. I have no compunction at all. I mean, obviously, if it was shown that there was something really nasty going on, but I don't think smuggled tobacco is it's particularly that bad. If it's people trafficking, oh dear, no.
Well, see, that's where I always go in my head that it's going to be something to do with that.
Yeah, it could. It probably is. That is involved somewhere along the lines, Viv. To be honest with you, these criminal enterprises they don't just deal in tobacco. That's one really small aspect of their operation, I'm sure. And people smuggling is big business these days. They reckon it's the most lucrative business on the planet.
I know it's very lucrative for the government and their groups like the RNLI and Serco. So
that's human trafficking that you see. That's the human trafficking that you see, which tries and pass itself off as something acceptable and kind. But there's also the much darker and seedier side to that as well.
I know what you mean. Yeah,
but
listen, so it's past our bedtimes. I think.
Oh God, so it
almost,
is.
Sorry, can I just say this? We won't talk about it now, but something I did want to mention. We don't have time, but somebody who died just a few days ago, Ted Turner, which I thought would be an very interesting guy, but we haven't got time to talk about it. So I just wanted to throw that one in there quickly. Anyway.
Yeah. We can tackle that for sure.
Yeah, maybe next week, but no big deal. As far as Irene Handel, don't really have much to add myself. If you guys have anything you want to add, then go ahead. If not, maybe it's time to pass the baton onto 4D.
Yep, indeed. I just thought that clip from the Italian Job was brilliant with her in it. She was ad-libbing. She's ad-libbing, isn't she?
Most of it, yeah. You can tell when she's ad-libbing. It's really because it's I mean, she's great. She's really good.
She does that bit about the plant, and you think that's not in the script, surely.
The green fly. Wouldn't the green fly terrible?
Yeah,
Michael Caine's like, And then he goes and he's asking her about the Benny Hill character, Professor Peach, and you can tell that because the conversation doesn't really flow, and you can tell it's because she's ad-libbing. She's kind of like it's very stilted and disjointed because of the way she's playing it, but she's just kind of chucking in her own bits, which makes it that way. But it works really well. Yeah.
Because she comes across as a bit batty, a bit sort of scatty old lady. Brilliant.
Yeah. So 4D. Do you have anyone in mind?
No, do you know what? I didn't even know it was back to my choice. I hadn't even thought about it. I will spend the week thinking about it and surprise you next week.
Yeah. Nice one.
Okie dokie.
I haven't got any jokes, but I've got a kind of very, very short, funny story that came up this week that I saw on YouTube, and it was somewhere in Scotland. Someone had, believe it or not, I'm going to call this the Wile E. Coyote move, but someone had drawn a tunnel on a wall, and it's not funny actually because it was a serious accident, but someone drove headlong into the wall thinking it was a tunnel.
No.
Like it was something out of the fucking Wile E. Coyote cartoons.
No.
So yes, it's funny, but it's not funny because actually there was injuries. But Yeah, someone
That is
drew
weird.
a freaking tunnel on a brick wall, guys.
Oh my
That is
god!
really weird. So I presume
Yeah.
they kind of must have drawn a road going into it as well. I presume.
Well, this is the bit that's really weird and confusing, but it was a slip road that went down to a brick wall. And so someone had thought, I wonder if I paint that brick wall. Someone would think that this is more than
Oh, I
just a
see.
slip road. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of funny and tragic both at the same time, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Was
It was
what,
probably
were
lucky
they?
that it was such a short slip road that just went to a brick wall, so there was no sort of speed or not enough speed for it. But yes, yeah, totally tragic, and possibly funny in the same breath. I don't know.
Yeah. So the victim survived, I presume.
Yes, yeah.
Car didn't. Okay.
And you probably, like, if it was me, I think my injury would be mostly to myself in my head, thinking, "How the freaking hell did you think that was a bloody blah 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 blah?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Time to get your eyes tested, I think.
Yeah. Should have gone to Specsavers.
Yeah. Anyway, I've got a few jokes. Sorry, but I do. I have a blind neighbour that had to shoot his dog. To this day, he still misses him.
Ah. Oh yes.
Now, here's one. Not everybody will get this. It's a quantum physics joke. So you may get it and not get it at the same time. That's not the joke, by the way. Werner Heisenberg is driving down the highway when he gets pulled over by a police officer. The officer walks up to the window and asks, "Sir, do you have any idea how fast you are going?" Heisenberg replies, "No, but I know exactly where I am." The officer, annoyed, says, "You were doing 85 miles per hour." Heisenberg throws up his hands and groans, "Great, now I've no idea where I am."
Okay,
Right.
Yeah, you have to understand a bit about quantum physics to get that one.
Yeah, I think I'm vague. I've got a vague idea. Yeah.
Yeah. Shall I explain it? No, I'm not going to explain it. That will completely destroy it. Right. Knock, knock.
Who's that?
Who's that?
Grammar Nazi.
Grammar Nazi.
I think you mean Grammar Nazi whom?
Ah. Yeah. Except it isn't. It isn't. You don't use whom like that.
Oh, shut up! Stop ruining it.
Oh, I don't
Sorry,
get it.
I just proved I am a grammar Nazi. Shit.
Yes.
Oh, and I don't get it anyway, so I'll just laugh along.
Yeah, whom, whatever. Right, what do you call a chicken staring at a bowl of lettuce?
All of lettuce, chickens.
A KFC zinger.
No, chicken Caesar salad.
Oh, I was nearly there in my head. Yeah.
Oh, you rotter.
What kind of trousers does a ghost hunter wear?
Polter pants, something like that.
No, just the paranormal jeans.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the kidnapping at school today?
No.
It's okay, he woke up.
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh, no. All right, one more. My son came to me and asked, "Dad, can you explain to me what is a solar eclipse?" I said, "No, son."
And it left the poor boy confused.
Yes. Ending on a high.
Oh, I got a decent laugh at last.
It's amazing the jokes that get the laugh, eh?
That was a straight run. Yeah.
It was, yeah. So, okay. Oh, there you go. No, forget it. It's all right. Yeah. So.
Yeah, no, I am genuinely going to disappear, run off to my toilet. What do we? What's the date today? It's the
It's 7th. So it's a Tommy. It's a UTK event, not this Saturday. The following Saturday.
Oh, okay. So we'll talk about that next week. Yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah. God, this year has flown by. Actually,
it's crazy.
Yeah,
crazy.
I mean, next month is halfway through the year. Do you realise that?
It is midsummer. Be midsummer, summer solstice next month.
Yeah.
So from then they will start getting shorter again. Boo hoo.
Yeah.
God, blimey.
Yeah. But anyway, all right then. So until next week.
Yeah. All right then, guys. Take it easy, and I'll speak to you next week.
You too. All the best. All the best, gents. You too.
Yeah.
Cutting out or what? What's going on? Hello?
I don't know. Should we, are we let's have a lag test.
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
Who's going to start?
It was for you.
0.
3, 2, 1. No, definitely can't hear us then. Nope. What was where were we?
I don't know. Viv was about to say something really profound and meaningful.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I actually interviewed. I had someone on the phones today called, was it Leonard Onions? And the O was followed by an apostrophe. It was spelled like onions with an apostrophe after the O and before the N. And he said, no, it's spelled like onions, but it's pronounced onions. I said, oh, pleased to speak with you, Mr. Onions. But anyway, Oliver Onions